Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to the show. I wanted to do some updates here. First, I want to get to what I told everybody I would do about the Michigan church shooter of the Mormon Church. This is Metatron here. He does history online. He has 1 million followers. Fairly popular guy. He's doing a breakdown here of the Michigan shooter, and there's a lot of back and forth going on about whether this guy's a leftist or whether he ended up being MAGA that went rogue or something. And let's go over a little bit of what he's talking about here.
And some people have used it to say, see, he's a Trump supporter because it says Trump here. Now, I'll be honest with you, it looks photoshopped. It doesn't look real. However, I found another picture, and this one instead was taken directly from his Facebook, and it's a lot clearer. Does it still look photoshopped? Maybe. You'll have to look into this because I'm not very good at figuring out. But for a moment, let's imagine that this is real. Okay, let's imagine that this is not photoshopped. If it's photoshopped, ditch it. But if it's not photoshopped, is this a pro-Trump shirt? The reality, the answer is no. Because if you look at it, it says, make America cry again. Not
And that's down here at the bottom. With this picture, it's difficult to see. It says "Make America Cry Again."
not make America great again, make America cry again. What does that mean? It's kind of a satirical type of t-shirts that the way I understand it, they are similar to, in fact, this shop that sells them also sells No Kings in America. Trump is a PEDO. I don't know if I can use that. WTF America. Make America party again. No Kings in America. Democracies have no kings. So as you could see, if that shirt is real, it's an anti-Trump shirt.
And that's a different version of the "Make America Cry Again," and that's for Trump getting voted into office. So what he's saying is it could go one of two ways. It could be "Make America Cry Again" because you're happy that Trump got voted in, and all the lefties are going to start crying, or it could be "Make America Cry Again" because things are going to be really bad under Trump. So again, that leaves it somewhere as a 50-50 mark. But we'll continue.
Just to make it clear, not that it matters, because I've seen people saying, oh, we found screenshots that he made large donations of sums of money to the Democratic Party. Apart from the fact that those, we don't know if they're real, because just because you see something on Twitter, it doesn't mean it's real.
So he references there that there are screenshots of him making large donations to the Democratic Party, not the Republicans. So we haven't been able to verify if those are real or not. I haven't personally seen them. He's referencing them, but they're out there as well. So there's oddity number two.
But even if it was true, I don't believe in this moment that it would matter. Because for what I could see, we'll watch the interview together, but I had a direct access to a person who spoke to him, and it looks like he wasn't interested in politics at all, and he was instead interested in how much he hated the Mormons. So even if he did vote for the Democratic Party at this point, it wouldn't be, unless we find something that says Mormons are bigots. That's different. Or Mormons are fascists. Okay, then it's a political assassination. You see where I'm going with this? It really depends. But the reason why I'm saying this now is because people saw this shirt, this picture that I just showed you, and said, Trump supporter. But then zoom in, for crying out loud. Zoom in. Now, another image that has been circulating, and this one is real, is that these signs were found on the premises of his house.
So you'll see here, it says Trump and Vance, and the legacy media has been saying it's attached to his fence, which isn't really accurate. It's attached to, it's either the fence is directly against the stop sign or very close to it, or he's attached it to the stop sign itself, and he has the sign. Essentially, what it looks like in this photo, and this is a poor re-uploading of it, is Trump and Vance, and then on a stop sign. So when I see this, it looks to me like "Stop Trump and Vance," or "Vance and Trump, stop doing what you're doing." If you had this sign by itself in your yard, I would say you're a Trump and Vance supporter. You're a Trump supporter. When you attach it to a stop sign, it takes on a completely different connotation.
A real piece of information. And I'd love to see how people are having dogfights over this. On one hand, we have Trump Vance. So, of course, lefties are saying, see, MAGA. But then there is a massive stop sign underneath. So, of course, conservatives are now saying, no, it's stop Trump. So the guy is anti-Trump. This is crazy because, yeah, you can kind of interpret it both ways. This combination could very much well be stop Trump and Vance, in which case it's clearly an anti-Trump guy. On the other hand, maybe this could be interpreted, I'm trying to be realistic here, this could be interpreted as, well, the sign is stop, don't come any closer. And on top of it, it tells you I'm pro-Trump. Now, both interpretation could make sense, but once again, if this shirt is real, then I would lean more onto the guy's anti-Trump. Once again, if the shirt is real. Continuing our investigation, it seems like that on his personal social media, he posted, "Never trust a POTUS whose IQ is 30 points lower than your own and failing." And this was posted 5 days ago. So if this is real, I always have to say if, but if this is real, who's the POTUS now? POTUS would be the president. So he would be insulting the current president, hence
Okay,
Trump.
so that was an
Once again,
anti-Trump
if this is real,
post
it would appear
saying, never trust a POTUS whose IQ is 30 points below your own and falling, posted 5 days ago before he went on the Mormon church shooting. So once again, showing himself as an anti-Trump because he, if you wanted to make that statement for Biden and you were pro-Trump and anti-Biden, you would have put that months and months ago, right? You wouldn't do it now while President Trump is president of the United States. So all of these little points seem to point towards him being anti-Trump and having ended up either maybe starting as a conservative and going left. He was an Iraqi war vet, and maybe he's got PTSD. Maybe he's all fucked up. I mean, obviously he is. He shot up a church of innocent people. But I'll continue on here to someone who ended up speaking with him, and this is going to play more towards the Mormon portion of it. This guy is running for office in the locality in Michigan, and he says he was just going on a door knocking campaign, going to people's doors and introducing himself, and he ends up going to the shooter's door, who would be the shooter, and he explains his interaction with him and what the guy had to say. Here's some of that.
I'm not talking shit.
Hello, everyone. I'm talking to Chris right now, and you contacted me a short time ago. Pretty distraught because actually, earlier today, you came to the realization that you say that you talked to the person who did this horrible thing in Grambling Township.
I did last week. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm running for city council and I'm canvassing, and I had an address on my map that I went to, and I came across a gentleman. He was very friendly, and he had interacted positively with me, and then we got out of the vehicle. We started just to talk, and after a short while, the conversation went to the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormonism, and he just made the position multiple times that Mormons are the Antichrist. And he, in not so many terms, said that several times. He gave me his background, but I just walked away from a person who had some very sharp views about Mormons.
You see, so it's clearly a case.
So he said Mormons are the Antichrist. Apparently, before going to Michigan, he was in Utah. He dated a Mormon woman. That allegedly did not go well at all, which even soured him even more towards the entire thing. And then finally, something odd here that was put up by the shooter's mom days before the attack, criticizing the person for avoiding any type of accountability. So 2 days before the massacre at a Mormon church in Michigan, the mother of suspected shooter Thomas Jacob Sanford made a cryptic post on Facebook about someone in her life who refused to take accountability and who always twists everything. Sound anything like the left to you? That is according to reports from the New York Post and the Daily Mail, which identified the now deleted Facebook profile as belonging to Sanford's mother, Brenda. It's not clear who her post was referring to, and the words were not originally hers. Instead, they seem to have been part of a copy-pasted meme that has been circulated on social media since at least August. Police have named Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, as a man who killed 4 people and injured at least 8 others in an attack at a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan on Sunday morning. People lack accountability, then say, you could have talked to me. No, I couldn't, because talking to you isn't really a conversation, the post read in part. You don't listen to understand, you listen to reply. You deflect the moment any responsibility comes near you, and you twist your words until they lose their meaning. Then you turn yourself into the victim while painting everyone else as the villain. What does that sound like to everybody? And what she's discussing allegedly about the shooter. I mean, that sounds like a leftist. They will not accept the truth. You cannot have a conversation with them. They twist all of the words until it fits their meaning, and they always play the victim. That sounds like the left. And that's how he's composing himself. That's what he turned into, whether he was one all along or it was a metamorphosis as time went on. He was a leftist. Conversations with you don't heal, they hurt. They don't resolve, they escalate. They don't build, they break. I leave them more drained, more frustrated, and more unheard of than before. The Independent has not been able to confirm the account's identity, but has reached out to a woman listed in public records as Sanford's mother for comment. According to authorities, Sanford rammed his pickup truck to the front doors of the building, jumped out of the vehicle, and began firing a semi-automatic rifle at the worshipers inside before setting fire to the church and being shot dead in a gunfight with officers. Sanford had formerly served in the Marines in Iraq, raising to the rank of sergeant, and later raised money for his son, who suffers from a rare condition called congenital hypersulinism. So, in kind of finishing with this, I'm going to say this to just try and cover the leftover bases. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that we've got it all wrong, and he was a Trump supporter. More so than anything else. Or maybe he was non-political overall. So sometimes he supported Trump. Sometimes he gave money to Democratic people. You know, it's possible to be somewhat neutral, I guess. I find that difficult to believe in this day and age, but let's just go with that premise that he was. So with the right and MAGA, we don't support or condone or do actions like this. So with him doing this would be a complete disavow, removal from him. He was never one of us. It was blatantly obvious that he was never one of us, never a conservative, never a patriot that loved this country. He was a mentally ill guy that went and harmed people in a church who were minding their own business, and he did it just because of their ideology. Okay, whereas on the left has their people. They harm people. And they celebrate that happened. They don't disavow them and say, no, they're not a real leftist because of A, B, or C. They celebrate it. Then they demand more. Then they go on Blue Sky, which is the equivalent to X, and they go, here's a list of more people that we think you all should get to after taking this action and hurting these people. Here's some more we think should be hurt, right? Whereas on the right side of it, we go, this guy is not us. He has nothing to do with us. We completely disavow him. You know, he's kicked out of the group. Hell, he was never even part of the group. That's the difference between the two. With a lefty, they would have celebrated this as they did with Charlie Kirk's shooter. And that's one of the most important things. So this guy ended up going to a church and hurting Mormons, where he dated one in his past and apparently had a bad experience with that woman. The whole thing went sideways. He was, there were stories about when he became a member of the church and he was dating her, that he was told he had to cover up all of his tattoos or remove them. He had to dress a certain way. He had to comply to certain things in order to be a part of the religion and to be with that woman that he was dating. And that soured him, and things went sideways on that relationship because of the religion. And that could be the reason he ended up taking it out on this church. So, you know, he's not MAGA of any kind that I've ever heard of or whatever speak about. And let's just say, well, he wasn't a total leftist either, even though there's some talk that the mother says and the family says he was starting to become radicalized as the days went on, and he was becoming more leftist. We don't go out and hurt people in churches or mosques or anywhere else for that matter. That is not what MAGA does, and MAGA doesn't advocate for violence. It's only the only violence is in defending yourself, not blatantly going out and deciding to take a violent action against someone else. And this is what he did. And the two flags in the back of his truck, you know, there are kind of two types of lefties. One are the Antifa radicals who hate the country and burn the flag. The other sect of them is the lefties who believe that they're the real patriots, that they really know what this country's supposed to be, and they're the ones that really love it. And they walk around with flags pretending that they're the actual patriots. It's not us. It's not anybody else. They're the ones that really believe in it, and they're just as much as of hypocrites and anti-country people as the radical Antifa is. The only difference is instead of burning the flag, they walk around it. It's like they walk around with it. It's like the devil walking around with the Bible, right? It doesn't mean that the devil's converted. It just means he's trying to play a game and pass something off on you. That's the difference between the two. So this guy ended up hating Mormons, and he went to this church and he hurt innocent people. That's the bottom line, regardless of whatever his political affiliation, when they really do deep dives on him, is or is not. I believe he was either a leftist, he was becoming a leftist, or at the bare minimum was just mentally ill and jaded from a relationship in the past. And that's what I've been able to find at this point. And I have more updates coming about the government shutdown and other things that we're looking at here. Please like, share, support, and subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you soon.